right. Good evening, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Alex Fire King, welcome back. Thank you so much, Alex, for the 62 months. Thank you. Sup, Nub? Yay, back for more. How was the docs? Doc was pretty good. Although, not quite what I was expecting. What did the doc say? So, went to the doctors yesterday. They were doing a lower nerve conductivity test, so checking the nerves from my waist down in my legs, because I've been having trouble and numbness and pain, specifically on the left side of my body. And so they went through, did some testing. First part of the test, for anybody who's never had a nerve conductivity test, they basically put a bunch of little diodes up and down my legs, and they have this little device. I don't know how better to describe it, but it's like a medical taser, almost. It's like a little handheld thing hooked up to a computer with two little metal prongs on it. And they have to press it into your leg, like into your leg muscles, relatively hard. Like, not breaking skin or anything, but pushing into my leg muscles and shocking me so that my leg muscles would basically reflex. So my toes would all tense up, my leg would all tense up. And they did this for both legs. Kind of like an induced cramp for like a few seconds. And then they would do that in a few different places with different muscle groups and see how long it takes for the reflex response to trigger. I don't know what the exact measurement was. Like, the doctor was saying that 7 is the, I don't know if it's microseconds, whatever. But milliseconds. But the response time they were looking for, a healthy response time, was a 7. Mine were 5. So my nerve responses and stuff are somewhat slow, but not to the point where the doctor thought that it was full-on nerve damage or anything that would be more serious. She was saying that that's fairly typical for somebody my age, leading a very sedentary life for a long time. Basically just need to get out and exercise my legs and stuff more. But there could still potentially be problems just further up my spine and neck, since I've also been having trouble with my back, my shoulder, my arm on that side, the side of my face. Did it hurt? So the actual nerve stimulation, muscle stimulation part, it hurt, but not too bad. It was kind of like I said, little leg cramps, like little medically induced leg cramps where my muscles would tighten up kind of against my will for a few seconds and then release. That it was uncomfortable, but it wasn't super painful. What did hurt was the test that came after that, where hooked up to the same computer, they had this little electronic needle, basically. It was like a needle hooked up to a wire, like a little clamp. And they had to push this needle through my leg into the muscles in a few different places. And then have me flex my leg and my foot up and down so that they could see and measure the muscles and everything tightening and relaxing and see if there was any sort of trouble there with my brain sending those responses to my leg and how much my leg muscles were contracting and relaxing. That hurt. That hurt. Where they put the needle in is still like kind of fucked up, and I feel like the muscle tissue underneath is like bruised or something. Because yeah, my leg has really been aching since then. So yesterday I just took it easy. I just basically stayed on the couch for the day after getting back from the doctors. But today I got my exercise in, did the grocery shopping, went and walked around the store for about an hour. Went and sat outside, got some vitamin D, so getting back to it. Leg is still not feeling great, but you know. What's up, Devilish Wolf? Yeah, this is just the intro. We're still just hanging out. I haven't started yet. American healthcare spending $999K just to get told that you need to exercise more. Yeah. It sucks. Like, it's very expensive, but at the same time, I'm also getting peace of mind for like my medical and health anxiety. Because again, back in March, I went to the emergency room thinking that I was having like a stroke or a heart attack. Since then, we've ruled out stroke, we've ruled out heart attack, we've ruled out blood clots. Today or yesterday, we ruled out lower half of my body nerve damage, which includes things like MS and sciatica. So a lot of major health concerns of what could be potentially causing all of these health problems are slowly being discarded. And we're narrowing down what could potentially be the source of all of this. So now I've got to wait another couple of weeks or another few weeks, basically till next month. And then next month, they've got me scheduled to do the same nerve test for my upper body. That's going to be fun. So they're going to zap my arms and back and chest and whatever else, and potentially do the needle test and all of that. So that'll be next month. I'll try and narrow that down. And then if that doesn't come back with anything, then we get to start looking into neurological. Because if there's not anything physical causing this, it could be a neurological problem. So after that, we might be looking at CT scans or MRIs or whatever else my doctor recommends to go forward with. Did you have the symptoms only awake or also during sleep? Both. Like, when I'm laying down to sleep, when I'm awake, when I'm active, when I'm inactive, stuff will just go numb on my left side. Sometimes it's my leg. Most of the time it's my leg. Sometimes it's my shoulder, like my shoulder blade and my upper arm. Sometimes it's the left side of my back. Sometimes it's the left side of my face and jaw. I've had a few days now waking up where the side of my head and the back of my head are like numb and asleep. It's fucking weird. That's weird. And still somewhat scary, but again, knowing that like a lot of particular things are being ruled out at least helps me not get freaked out as much. Old mattress. So I've tried a lot of different things with sleeping. We've got a very comfortable mattress in bed. I was having trouble sleeping on that bed. We moved out and Rachel and I have been sleeping on, we've got a nice big like sectional couch that is like super comfortable. So we've been sleeping in the couches. That's been a little bit better for my back. And I even got a mattress topper to go over the top part of the couch to give me even more support and cushion where I need it. So We've got that. I just put we've got these like 0G recliner chairs. They're meant for like when we're outside, but they're pretty comfortable. And the whole thing with those like 0G chairs, they're kind of like rocking chairs that support you. You don't really rock in them, but they support you up and back so that there's not all the pressure going downward onto your tailbone and your hips and everything when you sit. You sort of sit more upright. And it keeps my legs elevated, which helps with circulation and nerve conductivity and everything else. So I've got a 0G chair to sit in. I've got a comfortable place, several comfortable places to sleep. Been trying everything. I've been trying to sleep on my back. We've got like these big curved neck pillows to keep my head and neck and shoulders and everything from twisting and turning when I sleep in different ways. Been trying all that stuff for the last like month, and it hasn't really been helping. Like, I'm able to sleep. I'm able to get to sleep. It's not like too painful or uncomfortable or anything, but it's not relieving the symptoms that I've been having. It's not fixing that problem. And it's been longer than if it would have just been like a pulled muscle or a pinched nerve, stuff that typically goes away after a few weeks on its own. So that's why we're continuing with like a bunch of doctor visits, a bunch of tests, trying to figure out what's up. I've still got to schedule some x-rays and things like that too. But that I have to pay for. Basically, certain things are covered, like going and doing the nerve test. That gets sent to my insurance, and they send me a bill, and I've at least got time to kind of build up some money and take care of it. The x-rays, the clinic that runs the x-rays that my doctor sends me to, you have to pay for up front, and they just do them as like a walk-in. So I haven't had the money to go and get that done, and my insurance doesn't cover it. Like, they cover part of it, but I have to pay for it and then send it in and then deal with a whole bunch of other shit. So it sucks. Can I ask if the panic attacks started during 2020, 2021 during the lockdowns? No. Nope. I mean, the thing is, I've had issues with anxiety and depression for a long time. Even before COVID and 2020. First time I had a panic attack was in my car while driving. And that was probably around like 2017, 2018. But the thing is, at that point in my life, I would have a serious attack maybe 2 or 3 times a year. At like this past 6 months, like since the start of 2025, late 2024, I was having those serious attacks like every day or every other day. They were much more frequent, much more severe. Which is why I said, like, it was getting to a point where I thought there were other health issues going on, that it couldn't just be anxiety. And had that really, really bad one in March, which is why when I had Rachel take me to the emergency room, because I was having the nerve issues that were making the left side of my body numb, and that can be a sign of heart attack or stroke. So while I'm already having a panic attack, I'm hyperventilating, I'm having trouble breathing, my heart's pounding, my heart rate is super high, and then my vision starts getting blurry, my face starts getting numb, my arm starts getting numb. I legit thought I was having a heart attack or a stroke. So that was why we went to the emergency room. Because again, that was after having those attacks every day or every other day, to the point where I couldn't stream, I couldn't work on stuff. I just couldn't live. That was when it got to a point where it's like, okay, I can't just deal with this myself. we've got to go to a doctor. We've got to start figuring stuff out. So, little by little, we've been figuring things out. We did some blood tests. We saw that there were some things that needed to be taken care of based on the blood tests. My cholesterol was high, so it was like, okay, I need to eat better, lose some weight, start eating healthier. My blood pressure was very high. I was basically constantly in hypertension too. So going around every day with like a 150, 160 over 95 or 100 blood pressure was not doing me any favors, and that had been going on for who knows how long, with all the anxiety attacks and stuff being so frequent. So got put on some medications and stuff to help with that. Really changed up my diet. I don't have caffeine anymore. I don't have very much sodium anymore. Don't have like red meat and stuff like that. Not that I ate a whole lot of that before, but the little bit that I did is pretty much all cut out of my diet. I just eat like chicken, fish, and veggies, rice, fresh fruit, mixed nuts. That's like it. That's kind of my general diet now. And just more exercise. My vitamin D, when we did the blood tests, the most concerning thing out of everything was my vitamin D deficiency. My vitamin D was practically non-existent. So since then I've been getting outside in the sun more, exercising more, and taking vitamin D supplements on days where I can't do that. And it's really helped a lot. I've gotten back to a point now where I haven't had a full-on serious panic attack in... Let's see. I can actually check. Because I've been recording all of my blood pressure and everything. I got a blood pressure cuff for keeping around the house and monitoring everything to know that if it got to a point that requires like a hospital visit, we would know. But it gives me a nice little view of my blood pressure so I can see the last time that it spiked and I had a severe panic attack. And that was around 9:45 p.m. on April 23rd. That was the last one. So it's already May 15th. So it's been a good amount of time. I went from having them daily or every other day to now I've been good for like a few weeks. I've had like minor situations where I start getting anxious, but I'm able to sort of stave it off with meditation, breathing exercises, and medicine. Just I've got medication, propanolol and hydroxyzine, which helps to calm my nervous system down, calm my body down so those symptoms aren't so severe, and it sort of breaks the panic attack before it gets to that point. Nub, did you say you were taking sertraline? Did you have that panic attack after that? So the sertraline we wound up switching off of, I can't remember what I'm on now. Fluoxetine, something like that. Count me in for the hydroxyzine club. It helps. It helps a lot. It definitely helps sleep because the SSRI that I was taking was giving me like night anxiety. As soon as my body was prone, I'd lay down and start going into panic mode, and it would immediately like wake me up out of sleep. So the hydroxyzine has helped with dealing with those symptoms and being able to sleep, because I had really bad insomnia there for a while, adjusting to the medication. But I'm at a point now where like I'm feeling okay again. I'm feeling all right again. I haven't had any major anxiety, even when I do things that typically make me anxious. Today, driving to the grocery store and just walk around the store. I used to have enough social anxiety and driving anxiety where something like that would fuck me up for a day and potentially trigger a more serious attack. And like, I got through it okay today. So stuff like that is getting better. Now it's these physical things that I've been dealing with. Having the weakness and numbness and pain and stuff on my left side. That's the big one now that I'm trying to tackle. The most concerning health thing at the moment. Sure, it's different for a lot of people, but are medications taken for this sort of thing instant relief or fast relief? A couple of hours? The problem is they are relatively fast acting now. Stuff like hydroxyzine or propanolol. Yeah, like 20 to 30 minutes and it'll start working for me. But I had to take it for the first like 2 to 3 weeks where it was fucking me up. It was making my anxiety feel worse. It would make me feel weird. It would make me feel like passing out. My blood pressure medication would sort of like start bringing my blood pressure into normal levels. And because my body was so used to being in hypertension, once my blood pressure was at a normal level, not even low, just normal, it would make me feel like I was about to pass out. So it took me a few weeks to like adjust to all of it. And now I don't get the really severe side effects, and it like affects me fairly quickly in a positive way, overall positive way. Hey, what's up, Tacitul? So yeah, it's kind of a mix of things. You have to take a lot of medication and let your body adjust to it over a few weeks, and then it'll start doing what it's supposed to do. Unfortunately, that's how a lot of anxiety and SSRIs and stuff tend to be. Hey, Yami. Weird how the body will react to feeling normal. Yeah. When your body is already used to something sort of not being right, correcting it is always difficult because of that. Your mental state is sort of acclimated to it. If it's been a chronic issue for a long time, the way my stuff was, so getting it to normal levels is a big adjustment to the body. Hey, Lost of Chaos. Lots of chaos. Yeah, pretty much exactly that. I've dealt with it for a long time, and I was never particularly good about dealing with it for several years. I would just sort of like distract myself and drink a lot and shit like that, which definitely didn't help. But I'm at a point now where like I don't drink anymore. I don't take any drugs except for medications from my doctors. I don't drink anymore. I don't even have caffeine and barely any like sodium and salt and shit. Just having to live healthier. I'm at a point now where my body could handle that stuff better as sort of like a crutch when I was younger and dealing with it. But now I'm almost 40. So, had to make those changes. Had to make all those changes. Heavy alcoholic and been sober now for 17 months. Good for you. Good for you. I'm proud of you. It's one of those things that's definitely not easy. You can stream talking to hundreds of people, but get anxiety going to the grocery store. Yeah. So again, it's things that you sort of get accustomed to, right? For a lot of people, being in a crowded place with physical people versus being online talking to people. Like, I've always had online friends and played a lot of online games. Before I was streaming on Twitch and getting used to it, I played a lot of MMOs. I played Final Fantasy XI for like 20 years and counting. So being in like a link shell and organizing events with friends and stuff online, doing stuff like Twitch, it's something that I'm just more accustomed to. Like, I can do this all day and not have a problem. Some people get anxiety streaming. That's something that I used to get when I first was starting out, but got over fairly quick. Because again, like, I've been streaming since 2011. Whereas going to the store, especially since 2020, like, where I stopped going to the grocery store at all, I was either having groceries delivered or doing like curbside pickup and everything like that for ever since COVID. So now getting used to like going out and getting groceries again is something that I have to acclimate to. Just the same way as somebody new to streaming, you have to do it, and it might be anxiety inducing at first, but the more you do it, the more you get used to it. And it helps a lot, like I said, if you're already kind of used to that sort of online interaction from playing MMOs or online games and stuff like that. Anyway, like I said, still some stuff that I'm dealing with, but a lot of it's getting better. Today I dealt with stuff, got through it okay, no panic attacks, medications are working, I'm feeling good again. Outside of these weird nerve issues. I've lost a lot of weight in general, so stuff's getting better. My life in general and quality of life in general has been improving day by day, significantly in the last couple months. And again, thanks so much to you guys, because without you, I would be completely lost. Like, any regular 9-to-5 job, if I would have started having crippling anxiety and needed to take a 6-week hiatus to like get medication and get used to stuff and do all of that, like you can't. You wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to fix those things and have the time to sort of adjust my life to start improving. If not for the generosity of this community, people donating to the GoFundMe, people sending tips, and people subscribing, people watching my stuff on YouTube. YouTube has been, successful enough through the monetization that it definitely helps pay some medical bills and get some groceries. It's still tight. It's still a struggle. I'm not a huge content creator like a lot of people out there. But yeah, I wouldn't have had a hope at all if not for you guys. So thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Let's do some Silent Hill 2 Remake. Let's play the game. And look at the things. Who's ready for another few hours looking at all the details in this game? I've honestly been really, really enjoying this. Halftime 74. Welcome back. Thank you so much for the 3 months. I love that emote. The save point cat. Been loving watching the VODs, haven't caught them all. What was the coolest Easter egg you found? Favorite Easter egg so far? The one that I already knew about, the Silent Hill Ranch HD collection Comic Sans sign being in the barn on a big pile of rubble. Uh, I love that one. It was one that I knew about before doing my own cam hack. Since doing the cam hack, stuff that I've found that nobody else I've seen online has pointed out at all was the VHS tapes for Shoot and Crusher Dan. Such an obscure reference from Silent Hill 1, the movie theater with those movies playing, and they're like edited posters of Raiders of the Lost Ark and Die Hard 2. The fact that Bloober Team knew about that Easter egg in Silent Hill 1 and then made VHS mock-ups and hid them in the environment in the house where you pick up the radio, where you can only see them with like a cam hack. That was one that I haven't seen anyone else talking about and I thought was really, really cool. But there's been some cool ones. There's been some really cool ones. All right, take it easy, just another chump. Thank you so much for the Prime sub and the 3 months popping in to say hi. Gonna go stream Doom for a little while. Enjoy the Doom. I've been hearing the new one's really fucking good. I've been meaning to catch Maxi Lobes, my buddy Maxi Lobes, who's been playing that. Because I love the Doom games, but I'm gonna tell you, ever since like the 2016 Doom, I'm just too old, man. I fucking suck at shooters now, and they're difficult for me to play the same way I used to. You can always get better. Oh, I know. It's just not a genre I play very much anymore. I used to play stuff like Halo and Gears of War, and I was never super big on to like Counter-Strike and Call of Duty and stuff like that, but you can always get better. 40-year-old won a Tekken tourney recently. Oh, see, that's another story. I've been playing fighting games since like Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat 1 arcade days, and I still play fighting games. I went to EVO in 2012 and 2013 for Street Fighter 4 and Marvel 3. Like, I'm a pretty competitive fighting game player. So stuff like that, I'm still really good at. But FPSs, I haven't played consistently a shooter since like Halo Reach. But fighting games, I still play. I still play Street Fighter 6. If anybody ever wants to play me, my Blanca will make you mad. Anyway, guys, it is day 8 of the Silent Hill 2 remake cam hack playthrough. Where we've been going through these environments, looking at all the details, clipping out of bounds, seeing all the stuff that's rendered outside of where the player would normally go and normally see. Found a lot of really interesting stuff so far. And we're not done yet. So at this point, I think we need to get to the S door. And you know what? I'm just going to save us some time since we've already looked at, a lot of this stuff. I'm gonna jump over the rails. Can I do that? This is like not even rendered in. Oh, interesting. Adana, thank you so much for gifting out some gift subs. Sorry, 1 second. James, chill out. Trying to like scroll my chat back up and see who they went to. Fix the Ferns back and Valorosa. Enjoy the subs, enjoy the emotes. Some awesome Silent Hill themed emotes from our very own Trina Wolfie and Colorful Meep that you can now use anywhere on Twitch. Thank you so much. Very much appreciate their support. Thank you, Adana. Just a little jiggly. It's funny because last time I think we were talking about some of the collision stuff and someone was like, it hasn't gone full Bethesda yet. I feel like the limb stuck in something shaking around violently. We start getting into that territory. Yeah, the stanky legs. When they get stuck on horizontal walls is best. See, we've been through all of this. The S door should be on first floor. I'm trying to remember how I get downstairs. What's up, Billy the Kid? Cam hack? Yes. Cam hack. As in, I can take the camera and disconnect it from James, and we can look at all these little details in the environment. We can clip out of bounds and look at hidden Easter eggs. We can look at the character models themselves in super close detail. You can even see environments reflected into characters' eyes and things like that. So we're very slowly working our way through the game, checking out every little detail that we can. The eyes have a reflection? Yes. So it's not a full, like, one-to-one environmental reflection. So like here, if we kind of zoom in, you can see the white spot where the light source, the lamp in front of him is, and how there's sort of like stuff in front of it where you've got these different things on the table. It doesn't reflect other character models. It doesn't reflect like interactive things, but it is basically reflecting a low resolution version of the environment that you're in and the direction that he's facing. So really impressive, considering by default you're definitely not going to ever see the character's eyes that closely without one of these kind of mods. Oh right, it's Mothroom. That's what we're doing now. But yeah, lots and lots of really cool detail in this game. Although, talking about detail, this is the one room where there is a detail that is missing that was in the original Silent Hill 2. And it's one that I'm a little disappointed that the effect is not here anymore. So you can see the moths flying all around the room are just sort of a particle effect, essentially. It doesn't react to James or his position or his light. In the original Silent Hill 2, in the moth room, they're actually drawn towards your flashlight. So if you turn on your flashlight, the moths will sort of swarm towards James and fly around his light. And if you turn the flashlight off, they dissipate back into the room. And Bloober did not recreate that dynamic effect for the remake. They do a similar effect with the bugs, where when you see the bugs later on, they'll run away and scatter as you point your light towards them. So they do a similar kind of neat thing with the flashlight and some different bugs, but not the moths. But yeah, you can see the moths are like kind of a fairly basic texture. Even these though, like, are a bit more detailed than you'd expect them to be. But it seems like it's just sort of like a static, not static, but like an animated particle effect. Just like these little floating motes of dust and things that they have in a lot of areas. These are basically just like a fluttering animated version of this same kind of particle effect. So it's not interactive with your character model or your light source. I love these little references, though, the way they changed up the moth room and the puzzles. We've got the Death's Head moth, most recognizable, I think, to horror fans from the cover of Silence of the Lambs. Which was influential to Team Silent when making the original games. There's a few Silence of the Lambs references all the way back to Silent Hill 1. All the different patterns, which is part of the puzzle to solve in this room. You need to count the number of each of these moths and use them to open up this lock over here. Quickly zoom in and look at the lock a little bit closer. So yeah, each symbol. And it's a little different on normal and hard. I'm just playing on the easy riddle because I don't think I've done easy riddles yet. So I'm just checking out all the differences between difficulty. On hard mode and normal mode, you have like little simple math equations of like skull minus moon, moon times circle. So like each of these things just has to be solved to get the number. For light mode, easy riddles, we're just counting all of these things. Man, love all the little details on like locks. You can see where they're scuffed. All the little scratches and dings in the side of the metal. Fuck the math equations in hard. Yeah, normal is like simple math equations that are fairly straightforward, and then hard mode, you have to remember order of mathematical operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Don't think I could forget PEMDAS if I tried. If there's two things that I'll remember in my brain the moment that I'm dying, it's going to be Order of Mathematical Operations, PEMDAS, and Dungeons and Dragons Thaco, or 2-hit AC 0. Those are going to be the last neurons to fire in my brain. And probably something about Silent Hill. Probably be a Silent Hill thought in there. Why wouldn't there be? All the empty bird cages. We do see a lot of bird imagery. James and Mary's, the recreation of their home in one of the apartments had a lot of bird imagery, a bird puzzle in the Blue Creek sort of area that had to be solved. And then all of these cages. Trying to take a closer look at all of them. See if there's any other interesting little details about any of the cages. But just cool to look at. So let's see. Now, are we counting moths or number of things in the pattern? Let's do number of things in the pattern first. So 2 moons. 3, 4 moons. 5, 6, 7, 8 moons. We've got two circles, 4 circles, 5 circles, and 1 and 2 Death Skull moths. And then this room, another room from the original, continuing the moth room. The dead butterflies and stuff on the bed. With the hole in the wall, the green ooze. I'm glad they kept a lot of these little details. I always feel like the butterflies and moths, like for Silent Hill 2 themselves, they are very referential to Mary and Maria. The idea of metamorphosis being a type of rebirth, a symbolism for rebirth. Mary herself describes in her letter that she feels she's wrapped in a cocoon of pain and loneliness. Wrapped in a cocoon. And she dies, and Maria is able to exist. Maria, who has butterfly tattoos. A lot of butterfly imagery associated with her. The idea that Mary sort of, through death and through the spiritual power of the town, has metamorphosed into a butterfly. But it also feels like a nice callback to Silent Hill 1. Alessa collected butterfly specimens and moths. All right, James. It's time to reach your hand into another hole. Our sleeve is still stained and damp from the nasty toilet. Yeah, I love the facial expressions. We've got a fancy pinky. No fancy pinky? Usually for key items. I guess it's a clock hand. I don't remember if the other clock hands... It has just been keys, for the most part, that do the fancy finger. Then we get that wonderful audio. Pyramid Head getting closer and closer. Big cuts and scrapes. Looks similar to Pyramid Head attacking the environments with his knife. The Great Knife. Mannequins have once again moved and repositioned, getting closer and closer to this fence. See if we have, yeah. Painting has changed yet again. Last time we looked at this, it was all of the butterflies and everything. Now it's like a shadow of a metal grate. Some items and things spawn in. How the Time Flies, another one of our hidden mystery photos, mystery message photos. And you can actually see, rather than an obscure, like, count the number of objects, for this photo, for anybody who doesn't know, there's a lot of mysterious photos to collect throughout the game. Each one is a letter in an overall longer message that spells out, you've been here for 2 decades. And in most of them, you're counting like a number of things in the photo itself, and then taking that number and the corresponding letter from the message written on it to be its part of the overall message. This one, instead, you just have a number hidden in the photo itself, the number 6. is right here in the TV. So I feel like these photos were probably the first ones to get figured out, that there was a code to them, because it's a little bit more obvious when you have just a straight number hidden in the photo rather than count the number of things. And then from there, you figure out how the other ones are done. So with this, you would take the number 6, so HOWTHE. E would be the letter of this photo that goes into the overall message. Really cool. Very interesting Easter egg from Bloober Team. And one of those fun ones, a lot of people who like the loop theory, they feel like it adds to the loop theory for them. For a lot of people like myself, I think it's just a nod to some of the old fan theories, because loop theory wasn't just something created for the remake, it's something that was around the fandom since the original game's release. People trying to think of different reasons why things like James's corpse would be around, why you would find old maps with things already marked or circled on them. A lot of the same things they do for the remake that was already there in the original, and people theorized a lot of the same things since the original. And I feel like the hidden message with the photos, a lot of the little hints at that, are sort of referencing that idea. There's an interview with Bloober Team. I actually just put it in the in our channel Discord, because somebody else was wanting to theorize about loop theory. We've got a Silent Hill fan theories channel as part of our Discord for people to talk and discuss that kind of stuff. But there was an interview with some of the remake developers, and I'm just going to read you some quotes from that. They said, "I can't tell you how many hours we spent watching, reading, and discussing all the elements that we can find on the internet. Our main goal has always been to respect the fans and never ever disregard any of their theories. I don't like everything that I found there, to be honest, but when we started analyzing them and finding all the cons and pros behind them, I started to love the way that people were thinking about the game, and specifically they're talking about the Labyrinth section, and wanted to incorporate as many things as I can in it." New interview with Bloober Team says, yeah, basically what I've been suspecting since my very first playthrough, if anybody goes back and watches that, where it seems like they did a lot of digging. They really looked into a lot of the fan theories and things from back in the day, and wanted to include little references and nods to like all of them if they could, even ones that they personally didn't like or didn't agree with. They wanted to include references to everything. So I feel like that's why a lot of the loop theory stuff is there, not necessarily to be a direct answer or confirmation, but something to reference those fan theories. Honestly, makes me wonder if anyone on Bloober reads fanfic. I mean, probably. It feels like they really did a lot in terms of research. Not just official, but lots of fan related and community related stuff as well, so would not surprise me at all. So now that we backtrack through this area yet again, this was not here before, this lying figure. And out of all the lying figure designs, we see a few different variations of them throughout this game. These are the ones that are like the closest to the original Silent Hill 2 design. So in the original Silent Hill 2, this room is where you fight Pyramid Head. You have a little boss fight with him here. There's water flooded up the stairs. After the fight with Pyramid Head, he walks down the stairs, opens up a door, it drains out the water, and creates your exit from the apartments. And if you examine the lying figure, you get this static camera view, very much like the camera view during the boss fight in this room when you're standing next to the stairs. Almost the exact same static camera view. Same position of this lying figure, because Pyramid Head, before this fight starts in the original, this lying figure gets killed by Pyramid Head in this exact spot. So really cool little callback to the OG Pyramid Head fight before doing the remake version. So it's just about that time. I love the lead up to this fight. This room right here with the hanging cages is laid out very, very similarly to the Misty Day, Remains of the Judgment painting of Pyramid Head from the Historical Society. You have an image of Pyramid Head standing in a rusty, similar room to this, with cages in almost these exact same positions, just with bodies in them. An area that we will eventually get to. They recreate it as part of the labyrinth and everything below the Historical Society. Looks like the lighting and stuff in here has changed a little bit. It's funny, you can see the open version of the doors just kind of clipped through and hidden behind the closed ones. And there's our escape. Don't worry, the town will hopefully load in after the boss fight. We've clipped out there a couple times and the game doesn't really like it. I don't really want to crash it if I don't have to. But I would like to zoom this perspective out and give us a little different view, hopefully, of this cutscene leading into the final boss fight for this area. Also, that has to be a Silent Hill movie reference. There's no way Pyramid Head throwing the body at the door like that. The lying figure. It's so similar to the way Pyramid Head throws Anna's skin against the church doors in the first Silent Hill movie. It's so similar that I feel it's got to be a reference, a little nod to the Silent Hill movie. For anybody who's not seen the first Silent Hill movie, that's probably the best scene. Where Pyramid Head shows up and grabs a girl and rips her skin off and flings it at the doors of a church. Now we get our active Pyramid Head model. We did take a little while sort of looking at Pyramid Head when we first see him in the hallway. And of course, for anybody who wondered, no, there's not really anything rendered in the helmet. Although we do see some aspects of its creation that Ito has even commented on Twitter and stuff years ago, before the remake was like a thing. That he said he would never reveal. He had in his mind Pyramid Head has a head and a face hidden under the helmet. It's not a lot of popular misconception that comes from the narrator of the making of Silent Hill 2 documentary, where he says that Pyramid Head's metal head is the actual head. Ito has gone back against that and clarified in the years since that he did intend for Pyramid Head to have something, a head and face under the helmet, but it was something that he would never illustrate, it's something he would never model, and it's something that he would never give the details to anyone. It's something that he himself keeps to himself as an artist. Fans, for the longest time speculate that it's James himself. And again, Bloober knows that because that's a common fan theory for the fandom for a long time. And they incorporated that into the remake. They had Luke Roberts. So Luke Roberts is the actor playing James. He's not just the voice in English, he's also the body and facial mocap. So Luke Roberts, who did the mocap for James, and who the body and everything is based on, is also Pyramid Head. They had Luke Roberts do all the Pyramid Head mocap. So the body for Pyramid Head and the body for James are both the same actor. And that's definitely a nod towards that fan theory of Pyramid Head being kind of an aspect of James. He is the side of James that knows the truth and desires punishment for what he has done. So that feels like a nod to it. Such a badass shot. Yeah, the lighting here. That overhead swinging light. With his hair lit up. The shadow on his shoulders and stuff, but kind of the rest of his body and the shadows from it. Here we go. Here's your dual monitor wallpaper. Got James on this side. And Pyramid Head on this side. Can you have James pull out the gun and do that angle again? Sure. Now the light source is swinging above head, so it's going to kind of change as I pause and unpause. That's a little too far. Now look at the spark effect as Pyramid Head drags the knife. I love the way he twists his arm and hand to hold this. You can see the great knife in detail here. We were talking about this and looking at it earlier. There's a barber shop in town with a giant pair of metal scissors hanging above it as part of the sign. And Masahiro Ito, the artist who created Pyramid Head, had clarified that Pyramid Head's great knife was originally designed to be a half of a pair of scissors, that he and James would both have matching halves to form one large pair of scissors if they were to be put together. And you can really, really see that shape going into where the handle, the loop for the scissors would be. And just the shape of the blade, the position of this, like, fastener, this, like, bolt where they would be held together. Looping him, I'm looping him. It's just like Dead by Daylight. I wanted to see the arm twisting and everything as he swings. I love the other arm, like, swinging out. As the whole body twists around. The sort of natural weight and momentum trying to keep your balance swinging, something like that. Yeah, James on his tippy toes. Looking worried. Actually, he's kind of dealing with this pretty well. Like, yeah, whatever. Pyramid Head smacking the shit out of him, shoving him around. His legs as he's, like, stumbling back, trying to catch his balance. About to break his damn ankle. Oh, it's part of the gun clipping through his hand. I was like, did his wedding ring suddenly show up? But it's the gun clipping through part of the hand. Can Nub find the elusive tentacle attack? They removed it. He doesn't have the little panel in his helmet that he has in the original. So in the OG first Pyramid Head fight, there's a little part of the helmet that slides open. Pyramid Head can grab James and strangle him, and a little tentacle would pop out and wriggle around. But that is not a thing. Not a thing in this one. See? They'll push. And I think there is a choke animation, but there's no tentacle. I feel like I got him to do a choke animation before. Oh, the rain. Maybe it's this phase. Maybe it's when the rain starts. Look at that. We can clip up above. Yeah, the soundtrack change. We can just kind of look at stuff and listen to the music. That drone. So good. The rhythmic banging. Yeah, you can see the rain effect is actually localized around James. Still gives the appearance of kind of being in the whole arena, but it's just around the character, normal player camera. Just kind of out to a certain radius. Look at the drops of rain, like the water and stuff showing up on the boots now. Pyramid Head's wet butt. Same thing for James. Clothes get darker and damp looking. He just wants to hug you? There it is. I'm like trying to get these cool animations that you don't normally get to see very well. Just grabs you and throws your ass. Ouch. Plenty of health and ammo in this game. Oh, it's time. Here's our siren. We get the air raid siren. our fog world, otherworld transition. He kind of starts doing that thing with his arm. There's animations even back to the original where Pyramid Head sort of raises his arm and waves it around. It almost looks like he's trying to feel for something or sense for something. I love the difference in the textures, the metal and rust. And this side is like leathery. It's like part of this bag that we sort of see on the inside over here. It's like he's missing this whole panel. And you're seeing the continuation of this like sort of bag form. All these little valves. Such a great redesign. I feel like it stays fairly true to the OG with some interesting new things. I wish they would have kept the little panel and the tentacle. Some minor things, personal opinion that I don't agree with in chat. Temporal Fry. I say this acknowledging that they've done almost everything right with Pyramid Head in the remake. Does anyone else think his metal head could have been darker like in the original? It's almost slightly too bright. I would somewhat agree. I think some of the colors and textures do stand out a little bit too much. I wish there was a little bit more blending between kind of the light and dark and like the edges of gloves and things like that, but this is still like a 9 out of 10 for me. Like, it's still such a good model, good redesign. Here's your version of the Arthur meme. If anybody knows Arthur balling up his fist at his side. Classic meme. Here's your Pyramid Head version. Feel free to use it. Oh, we can even get James in the background. Wait, don't go. Oh, look at the swipe. Look at the swipe animation. The, like, trailing light there. Going around. Hey, Hiro Usuda. Usuda-san, welcome. Hold on. VIP. For those in chat who don't know, Hiro Usuda, former member of Team Silent, who did environmental designs and lighting and a lot of other things for Silent Hill 3 and Silent Hill 4. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad you could be here. I hope you've been enjoying the remake. We're taking a look at the environments in great detail, so I'm sure you're going to love looking at what a lot of detail and effort Bloober Team put into this remake. And yeah, thank you so much for your work on the series. It's great to see you here. And Rachel, thank you for gifting a sub. Thank you, thank you. Enjoy the sub, Usuda-san. Away he goes. But I still want to look at a lot of things here before we get back out into the town. We definitely need not bullets so much as health, but I'll take it. We'll grab the things. They give you some extra ammunition there. They assume the player's going to try to shoot and really look at, or really, you know, engage with Pyramid Head a little more actively. It's kind of your natural response. But just like with the original, you don't actually have to fight Pyramid Head. The fight is on a timer, so you can just dodge and avoid and conserve ammo. Yeah, same lying figure model, that more classic Silent Hill 2 lying figure. Still have the light on up here. No silhouette of Mary anymore. I love just the lamp setup to get that effect. Oh, there's a good shot. I love these moody, shadowy shots of James. Holding the gun ready. Yeah, such good environment work. I have all the like metal, these like little metal plates underneath where like this is brick. Look at the way the brick transitions into this like flaking paint. It again somewhat reminds me of the Silent Hill movie, and Silent Hill Homecoming also does this effect where reality is sort of like peeling away and revealing the other world underneath. It's an effect that out of all things to come out of the movie, it's probably one of my favorite effects. And I love that we get little bits of that in the environment here. You see like what looks like a solid brick wall sort of turning into peeling layers of old paint. Reality sort of chipping away, peeling away. All the bloody bandages wrapping up the pipes. All these little hints and everything towards Mary, the bloody sheets and bandages. Everything that would have been part of her condition while in the hospital, open sores and needing to have bandages and sheets and things changed often. Kind of also harkening back to Alessa in Silent Hill 1. And that swinging light. So good. A little bit of the lobby here, and I think this should be rendered now. Oh, it's still not completely. A lot of it is. Not until I completely walk out. And we're going to see this environment change, like, immediately. So, see how everything looks right now. All the broken cages, everything is still very much like Otherworld. And then we step out, we open the door. The city out here, the town and everything is rendered again. But if you go, if you go back in, look at the environment difference. Instantly, we're back. The other world is gone. And we're seeing, like, the fog world elements again. Closer to reality. The dumpsters and trash. And graffiti walls. Yeah, Uzura-san, thank you for joining us. It's great to have you here looking at all the environments. Especially since you were responsible for some really amazing detailed environments in the games, in the Silent Hill games and everything that you've worked on. Some of my favorite things to look at and analyze are the environments that you worked on. The bookstore in the mall and the church, the Otherworld church at the end of Silent Hill 3. Amazing, amazing details. So it is an absolute honor to have you here checking out the environments with us for this Silent Hill 2 remake. See, like, some floating textures and things out here where you're not supposed to go. The open cavern part of the road. Can you go back further inside? No. After the fight, so this is as far back as it normally lets you go. We can clip in and you'll see that everything in the apartments now is completely unrendered to save save on resources. Save it. And let's get a nice shot of James here. Red James. Oops. Want to turn off the interaction icons. There we go. Red James staring at the save point. Zoom in, you can see the like reflection of it in his eye. Great model detail there. And see how dirty the sleeve is. It's not quite so damp. It looks more dried on now after reaching in the toilet. The ooze on his hand, his other hand is gone. You can still see the like dirt in the fingernails. Left hand still relatively clean. The dials and everything, all the details inside the cars, stick shift and everything. All these little things you'd never see normally that are all still rendered. Still great attention to detail. MHOV. I don't think I've seen that on any of the other vans. We've got the Corinthians license plate thing. Scarab Beetle. Got Scarab Beetle written here. MHOV. Number 4. I like that the courtyard is still somewhat here for Woodside Apartments. The baby stroller in the pool is gone. The windows and everything are changed where you like climb in and out. Oh, game doesn't like that. Things stop rendering. Definitely not supposed to be there. Seen that license plate before? Yeah, we just saved. ETSP-T01. Radial tubeless. Little like light hanging down with the wires, the electrical wires hanging, holding it on. Uh, Hiro Usuda. It must have been very difficult to create these. And it's not modern US, it's a slightly old US setting. Yeah, the idea that there's so many sort of different elements from different sort of eras. There's a lot from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, all sort of mixed together in the architecture, the car models. Ah, this mural. For the Sanders Street Flower Shop. More butterfly imagery. As part of the mural. Nothing like that near the bottom. It's all like way up here at the top where it's like fairly hard to see. Are those oleanders? Ancient oleander, is this your namesake? It's a bit like a Fallout mural. It is that they like that sort of 1950s, 40s, and 50s pinup style almost. Very similar art style. Trespassing. I like the shots of James through fences, standing off in the fog. More. Whoop. Superior Pawnbroker. A pawn shop there. Of old tires. Really big graffiti. Across the whole building. Octanus Fuels. And there's Laura. She's already rendered in before we get too close. And activate the cutscene. Although what she's holding is not rendered in. She's supposed to be sitting there looking at Mary's letter to her. Again, really impressive model work. This looks like so close. Evie Templeton is the actress that plays Laura, who did the mocap. The facial and everything is based on. And I mean, it looks just like her. I feel like she did a great job portraying Laura for this. She's also supposed to be playing Laura in the new movie, in Return to Silent Hill. Christoph Gans, who made the first Silent Hill movie, not the sequel Revelations, but the first one, is making another Silent Hill movie called Return to Silent Hill, and Evie Templeton, this same actress, is going to be playing Laura in that film as well. So I'm really curious to see how that winds up. All the detail here. The original Silent Hill 2 artwork. Like these drawings of the bear and the cat, the flowers and stars. Very much the way it looked in the OG. Like the way they recreated some of those original textures is super impressive, extremely accurate. Like a basketball hoop over here. Oh, and a dog house. Even though I don't see any dogs around. Again, that's very Silent Hill 1, where you have the basketball hoop and a dog's head sitting next to it. A1 Superior Paint. Okay, let's pull the perspective back and get some slightly different camera views for the Laura cutscene. Oh, I've been sitting here talking and my mic was muted. It's all right. Yeah, Jonathan Joestar. The basketball hoop in the doghouse definitely feels like Silent Hill 1 sort of invokes that imagery. That's pretty much all I said since it was muted. I didn't go off too long. And we're about to hear the gasp, Mary's gasp, as we walk through this tunnel. Periodically throughout the game, you have these little moments where you hear Mary very faintly gasp, although the audio for the game's a little bit low. I don't know if it picks up every time. Wish? Born from a? Is that same graffiti that's on the side of the building. Much larger over there. Some repeated graffiti and stuff. But still cool to see. Oh, look at that. It's got the, like, dark shadow in his eye. Oh, and there's a leaf. Yeah, all the little details, the, like, patterns in the brickwork. Let's see what's in the garbage. A lot of the same assets. The green tea. Mackay green tea. We see some familiar things around. Another James jacket. We've seen a few places where just his jacket is. On the ground where we pick up the key to the Woodside Apartments in the first place. His vape pen, yeah, and then there's one of the rusty needles. I love that you can zoom in on these and see, like, the actual liquid inside. You can see the, like, rust on the needle itself. And read a little bit of the label. Just how detailed all these assets and props are. Super impressive. Just put an uncapped dirty needle in your jacket? Yeah, it's okay. Needles come from doctors, and doctors make you healthy. It's just common sense. It's perfectly safe. I'm gonna look at some of the... We've got a lot of new environment stuff here in Rosewater Park. All the overgrown vines and plants. How some stuff is sort of overgrown and then other things look like they're dead and dying. All the like knocked over stone pillars. Places where the park just seems sort of like it's falling apart. Trying to see so what some of this imagery is. That a person on a Pegasus? It sort of looks like a horse, vague horse with wings. With like a figure on it. Wondering if Mary could be here. Rosewater Park, one of their special places. But this whole town was our special place. Our statue of Patrick Chester, one of the town's historical figures. But the horse missing its head. Patrick himself missing his head and arms. Like the little patterns and stuff on the side of the horse. Yeah, there's the engravings. You can just read it. I love stuff that you don't have to just examine it for the text. You can just read it by zooming in and looking at it. Patrick Chester, son of Edward, he fought and died for the people, for liberty, and for all of our tomorrows. His memory lives on. Oh, there's a really cool aspect here that I like. So the Silent Hill 2 remake has a lot of environments where it's referencing... Oh yeah, UFO sound effect is also going off. Let's take a look at our blue gem. Any UFOs around? UFO? UFO? Any UFOs? Fancy UFO finger? No. No fancy finger for the UFO. There's also an S on the inside of the eye on the back of this. It stands for space. Stands for silence. Maybe Sunderland. Can't be Sunderland. Because this is not something specific to him. This exists outside of James's delusion. This is something, if we're going off of previous game logic. The channeling stone was in Silent Hill 1. But yeah, before I got distracted by UFOs. So something I really like about the Silent Hill 2 remake environments, they sort of treat it in a few areas where they had to reconstruct areas and update them for how they look in the remake, and they change things up, but they still put references to how the layout was in the original game. So we've got Rosewater Park here, and the deck and everything, the dock itself has all been changed and updated. It looks somewhat different from how it did in the original Silent Hill 2. But if you look down over the edge into the water, you can see the remnants of the old Rosewater Park dock out here, where all the old layout and stuff was, and then they made this new one up above it. But the fact that, like, all this stuff here is kept just to kind of serve as a reminder for how Rosewater Park used to look, and like maybe the water level has raised, or the old one just got too old and collapsed. Tea. More green tea, all the little bits of trash and stuff out here. Old life preserver way out here. The fact that there's so much detail so far from where the player has access to is always super impressive. And there's the edge of the world. Go swimming. All the cattails growing down here in the water. The lily pads. Can't look through these. Such a shame. Thankfully, we've got our own. We brought our own telescope. Rosewater Park, life preserver. It's even written on the back. The unmarked statue. This is another asset recreated from the original Silent Hill 2. Oh. Oh. The backside of this has the Jennifer Carroll inscription. So did they just reuse the base of the Jennifer Carroll statue? that should be up here. So here's Jennifer Carroll. Checking the face of the statue. See if it's like the mannequins, where it's like based on Mary and Maria. But yeah, it's just the same statue base. The victim of persecution by the Christians. Inscription about Jennifer Carroll, one of the town's early cultists, who's considered a saint in Silent Hill 3. Usuda-san, Hiro Usuda, knows all about Jennifer Carroll, Saint Jennifer. Created some artwork, some paintings that you find in the church of several of the cult's saints. Yeah, the other base I think is larger. Yeah, it's like stretched a little bit wider. It looks a little different too. So maybe they had a few different versions here. And wanted to use one for this and just sort of extended the asset out and turned it around so you wouldn't see this text. They could have used Patrick Chester's. I mean, they could have made an entirely unique one as well. So, it's hard to say. It may have been a result of using some different assets that they can use in a few different places. Maybe a little Easter egg or something more intentional. In memory of the 67 who died of illness and now sleep beneath the lake. Coffee house. Coffee and waffles. Premium quality. Here's the worst part of the remake for me. There is no longer a hot dog cart. When you first meet Maria in Rosewater Park in the original, in the background of the cutscene where James and Maria are talking, right here on the docks is a cart where they sell pretzels and hot dogs. And it's gone. Replaced with ice cream and coffee and waffles. Drinks beyond coffee. Hot chocolate, kids hot chocolate, lemonade, coffee, hot tea, iced tea, bottled water. Daily special. Belgian waffles. Original. Caramel, ice cream, strawberry, Toluca waffles, vanilla, tiramisu, blueberry, strawberry, $1.50 for some Belgian waffles, $2.50 I think, for some Toluca waffles. Wonder what's special about the Toluca waffle. Gotta go inside. Oh, there's menus. It's that same menu that we've seen in some of the other environments. American dishes, open at all hours. We've seen that in a few restaurants around the town. Another one there. Freshly ground coffee to go. Latte, specialty latte. Cappuccino, mocha, white chocolate mocha. America Ho. Macchiato, espresso. America Ho. I like how this just says double. 12 ounce, 16 ounce, 20 ounce. With each of the prices. Coffee for less, 20 ounces of coffee for less than $3. A 16 ounce espresso though. Oh, it's just different. I see. So you've got 12, 16, and 20 for everything there, but espresso, you either get a single, which is $1.29, or a double, which is $1.99. Ticket booth. This must be the ticket machine. Lake Tours tickets. A bird made a nest in there. Boat fares prices. Adults $8.30. Children $3.50. Groups only $7. $7. 7 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Children under 5, free. No bills larger than $10. Toluca Lake Canoe Trail. Oh, look at that. We get like a little top-down view of Toluca Lake. And the canoeing trail. Discover more on Toluca Lake. Aiding the route. Toluca Lake is owned by the National Trust but something you are not permitted to land there owned by the National Trust but rented out to a private tenant. You are not permitted to land there, but the house is open to the public for 5 days a year. So is this referring to the church or the house on the Rebirth Ending Island telling people who are out on the lake, like, you're not allowed to land there, that's privately owned? We were speculating on this in a previous part of the stream. And it seems like they kind of hid a little bit of reference to that. Has been occupied for hundreds of years and was home to a monastery in the 1800s. Luca Water something offers canoe ride. Something about ore from the mine at Silent Hill was carried across the lake in the 1800s. The Church of the Rebirth. It calls it the Church of the Rebirth. And it is literally the Rebirth Ending Island. So that's 100% what they're talking about. What a cool reference. Somebody like a caretaker, somebody for the Church of Rebirth, a hermit, died in 696 AD. South Vale and Central Silent Hill all have small car parks. Silent Hill and South Vale, you may spot National Trust Stone. Are they talking about Nakihona? The Mother Stone in the woods outside of Silent Hill? They reference that in Silent Hill 4. Like you see it. It's where you meet Jasper. One of the most something something, and is built right on the shore of the lake, offering the Lakeview Hotel. Lakeview Hotel is one of the most notable something, and is built right on the shore of the lake, offering the tourists immediate access to the lake for swimming at warm periods. The area, Central Silent Hill, is a great center for the Lake District. Lake District. So that's a reference to Derwentwater in the Lake District in Keswick in England. That's where they took photos. The original Team Silent took photos of Derwentwater in the Lake District in Keswick and used those to create the texture of Lake Toluca in the original game. On Lakeside with the lighthouse and amusement park. So the lighthouse from Silent Hill 1 and Lakeside Amusement Park. The mountains to the north and lake on the south, and big forest on the west coast. So the forest would be where the orphanage is, and basically the forest that you go to in Silent Hill 4, you see that forest. The mountains to the north feels like a reference to Downpour. You ride a sky gondola going across small mountains over like a gorge, and that area is kind of supposed to be, I think, in that area. The mountains on south eventually rise to something woods. Like Caldecott? Something like that. Parking. Park at the Rosewater and car park. Whoops. By Jack's Inn. We've got a reference to Jack's Inn. That's, again, Silent Hill 1 location, where you see Kaufman getting attacked by a mumbler. Please note there are some changes to park, or charges to park here. The launch on the lake foreshore. That's the boat launch next to the Historical Society. Something about Cafe Texan. Something immediately to the car park is required. We want you to enjoy a safe trip. Paddle safe. Dude, what a cool note. This is not something, by the way, that you, like, get to read or see normally. So many references there. The rebirth house, the monastery, the, like, history of the town, all the little references of the lake, lakeside itself, Jack's Inn, the amusement park, the hotel. Ton of little references there. Even something that we were speculating on, talking about the lake and the island on the lake and whether or not people could go there or maybe they just keep it private. They even address stuff like that in this. And then we've got the little Baroness. Experienced guide, local knowledge, great experience. Twice daily trips, 9 a.m., 12 p.m. $10 per person. But the boat very much resembles the Little Baroness as seen in the Silent Hill arcade game. For anybody who's never played Silent Hill the arcade, it does have like a plot. It's an on-rail shooter. It's not like a crazy hidden gem or anything, but it is interesting and it's got some interesting lore stuff in it. And the fact that it's all revolving around this ship, the Little Baroness that sank on Lake Toluca. There is the original note mentioning the Little Baroness is from the original Silent Hill 2. You find it in the prison in the labyrinth area. Oh. Oh, hello. And a little hidden eye symbol on the back part of this. We see this symbol later on, actually, in Brookhaven. Looks like a UFO to you. Could be a reference to places where you use the blue gem. I'd have to look around Saul Street. We didn't see anything like this on Saul Street apartments. And we checked pretty thoroughly around there. But I feel like we see this little eye symbol in some other places. Much more messed up version of the boat tours poster there with the little Baroness on it. Oh, we can see Maria. She's already here. Even before we activate the cutscene and trigger all of this stuff, we've got Maria hanging out here waiting on us. She's looking towards the lighthouse. Specifically just at the lighthouse on the other side of the lake. Which goes hand in hand with a story that we're going to learn. Two versions of that same story. One that Maria tells us and one that is on a note found in the Historical Society that we'll get to a bit later. This is a slightly low poly version of Maria until we actually get closer to her. The same thing was done with Angela in the graveyard when we first meet her. Like, she's rendered in, but yeah, you can see it's like a low poly version of the model to save on resources until we activate the cutscene. But for being a low poly model, they're still using some higher resolution textures here, like the pattern and stuff on the jacket. You can see the butterfly tattoo, part of her symbolism. The low poly version of the boots, little pointy toes. Ice cream truck or ice cream cart. Dude, so many cool things here. There was so much more to this. I was expecting it to just kind of be the title, but the fact that we can read a lot of this and it addresses so many things. The monastery in the 1800s. A private tenant, so you can't go landing on the island. So many cool things there. Oh yeah, no swimming. We do what we want, though. Oh, is my teleport broken? Oh, 1 second. I think I know how to fix this now. Um, Looking up my free cam control notes. Stores the input to the mod. F12. The sign worked. Okay, that takes a screenshot. Oh, but it did fix the thing. No swimming. Apparently the surface of the water has collision. And you can run on top of it. The true in water ending was the friends we made along the way. Could you run to the hotel? We could try. Let's see where we can go. Let's go from the dock, like, straight out. Oh. We have a problem. We saw the light. Oh, and we're... Whoa. I think we're on the lake bed now. Is that Maria up there? Okay. We have a reference point for where we are. In water ending. We are at the bottom of the lake now. Find the people that drowned. If there actually was some sort of detail or Easter egg hidden, well... Oh, it's just the lighting. Okay. We're still here. It's just dark mode now. And James is starting to glow like the sun. We've seen this happen before. Particles because we're in water. I mean, this is honestly kind of cool. We might have to reload a save, but this is kind of worth it. Even if there's like nothing really down here, it's just kind of neat. Running around, seeing the different particle effects and lighting. I'm surprised there's so much here. Whoa. Okay. We've returned to the world of light. And there's the old dock. It has collision, even. So crazy to me. That stuff would be like this. Can we use the stairs? They have collision. They don't quite work to actually walk up. Oh, probably because now I'm under... Yeah, because now I'm under the collision for where the water is. So it's acting like a physical barrier that we can't walk up through. Okay. Everything is fine. Let's go see Maria. We're gonna see probably the moment that she is rendered in. As you start walking closer, your camera will like lock in and refuse to let James turn around. You can see that's happened now. I'm trying to move my mouse left and right and it doesn't work. We're locked into Maria. Target lock. Let's see if it's the same model. Yeah, we're still on low poly model. Until the cutscene starts, I guess. Alright, wide perspective Maria cutscene.
Mary. 君は違う。
恋人に似てるの？
死んだ妻だ。本当に似ている。顔も声もそっくりだ。
私はね、マリアよ。幽霊に見える？どう？ほら。ね。
おっと、混乱してて。
ねえ、どこ行くの？
妻を探す。
死んだんじゃないの？
ああ、 3年前だ。それなのに手紙が来たんだ。
手紙？
変だと思うかもしれないが確かに。
ねえいいから。それでどんな手紙？
あと待ってると書いてあった。思い出の場所で。
ここが？とにかく私は見てないわ。他に心当たりは？
私はわからない。確か一つあったような。
そうだ、あそこかも。いい場所があるの。そう遠くない。
どんな場所だ？
カップルが特別って思う場所。教えてあげましょうか。他に行く場所はないんでしょ？それとも何かする？ちょっと落ち着いて。からかっただけ。ほらこっちよ。
行くのか？教えてくれれば。
置いてくつもりだったの？
その
本気？怪物がうろついてるのに。
違う。ただ
私が奥さんと似ているからなの。愛していたのね、深く。でしょ？
それじゃあ行こ
いいのね。
う。ああ。
Such a cool shot. Really neat seeing some of the wider perspectives
行き
there.
ましょう。こっちよ。
Come on, let's go. Whoa. Getting that gazebo pose, yeah. It's the way she was, like, leaned over there. Did I break Maria? Is Maria... She should not be low poly now. But she still is. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And she's missing collision. We may have broken something. Oh, she's fine. Wait. Her full res model is not loading in. And she's running in place. Her animations are broken.
James? どうしたの？
What am I doing? どうしたの? Wait, did the model change? The model changed. But it's still not working correctly. Let's kind of try to continue and see what happens. I'm very curious. Because after a certain point, I think she's supposed to teleport. She's bound to the gazebo. So this should open. Whoa! Is she in the ground? Did she return to this position? No, she's gone from here. Maria? You go. I think she fell into the abyss. We might need to reload here. All right. How are we feeling, Maria? Oh. Oh, she's still got them low poly eyes. Yeah, let's go. Okay, we're moving. We're moving past the dock now. Oh, no, now the full model's loaded in. I think. Might have some low poly teeth. Alright. It's just where the camera happened to be zoomed. Not just staring at your butt, Maria, I promise. She's not falling through the world anymore. I think we're fine. Oh yeah, some cool details with Maria. Little bracelet here with a symbol on it. And I believe that is a symbol for Lilith. Yes, that is Lilith's glyph. The Lilith symbol, the Black Moon Lilith symbol. Let me pull this up. Symbol commonly associated with Lilith in astrology. List of occult symbols. Lilith Black Moon, Sigil of Lilith. Depicts a crescent moon atop a cross with arms of equal length representing mind and matter. In Jewish mythology, Lilith is considered to be the first feminist and first wife of Adam. The sigil of Lilith symbolizes the she-demon, Lilith, who was demonized for rebelling against God's word. So that is straight from the Wikipedia article for the Black Moon Lilith symbol, the she-demon Lilith. And considering Maria is a manifestation of the town, definitely not just a random symbol that was used. Bloober very intentionally giving her that detail. Something that's new to the character that was not in the original. They rendered clear thread. Yeah. You can see the tiny little fasteners. And the like clear part of the clear thread of the bracelet. Is that a wedding ring? Wrong finger. It's just sort of like a plain silver ring. And of course, James doesn't even have his ring. You can see the mark on his finger where it was, on his left ring finger. You hear a clinking noise in the sink at the very start of the game when James is in the bathroom looking at his reflection, presumably where he removes it. The moon is below the cross? It is. But I'm looking at the symbol on the Wikipedia page. It's basically this orientation, but with the moon reversed. Like, so if this was mirrored, where the points on the moon were pointing to the right instead of the left. That's the way that it looks here. Now, this is a bracelet on like a thread, so you can, all of these little pieces theoretically can flip either way. But that would still be accurate to that symbol. She has the gem on one side. Let's see if she's got... Oh, she raised her hand up so we can kind of see the little latch and everything with the little lever where you pull the thing and attach it to the chain loops. Crazy detail on that. We can clip through and look at the reverse side. Or the paint on the nails is like chipped. Tips of the fingers. Yeah, the paint itself is like uneven. It's like darker, thicker towards the tip of the index finger there. Very like elements of realism. Not just a perfectly smooth texture. Oh, there we go. There's the reverse side. There's the reverse side. No gem. No gem. So it's not just the same texture on both sides. The gem is specifically on that side. So the orientation of it, yeah, it is intentional. It's not just a case of like, oh, it can flip and look the same either way. This could have been a single line of black thread, but the Mad Lads rendered the release latch for the connecting chain. Exactly. Oops. Having an empty head moment for Maria. Maria's molars, for anybody who was curious. Or somebody was wondering. Who's your dentist? You get great dental care being a manifestation in Silent Hill. Like, Silent Hill's got its downsides, but really good health insurance, good dental care for all of its manifestations. Rusty vents and stuff as part of the cart.
この辺りの若いカップルには特別な場所だった。きっと見ればわかるわ。
Trying to see, like, some of the changes in these little poses. Oh, look at that face. She keeps looking at her hands and her nails. Like, scrunching her mouth and stuff to the side. Really great facial mocap and acting from Salome Gunnersdottir, her actress. These two goofballs. Does anything reflect in Maria's eyes? It's the same as James's model. It will reflect certain things in the environment, but not interactive elements or other character models. The detail in the eyes of these characters too. Like the pattern of the eye itself, the little like red visible lines, veins. I forget what that's. It's not a vein. It's like a capillary. What are those called? Not a doctor. Oh, well, there's the entirety of her eye and inside. The makeup job. The eyeshadow. With the little, like, light flecks in it. Almost not quite glitter, but kind of that similar effect. Like a sparkly eyeshadow. Love the, well, these angles. Love the details on the character models. Who told Bloober to cook? Chair sitting at a table covered in dust with the smudges here. So far from home. Oleander said, isn't that from the other photo that we thought was the hotel? Where we were looking at like the wall pattern, what looked like beams and stuff. It looks different to me. This looks like a wooden chair pushed up to like a table. But we can check. That was... Wait, did I not... Did I just zoom in on it with the camera and never actually pick it up? I mean, that sounds like something I would do. Oh well. We'll have to go back and check the VOD. Restart. Yeah. Gotta start the cam hack over. I know we finally, after 8 streams, got through the apartments. The first, like, real area of the game. We gotta start over, though. That's fine. It looked like a picture taken from the floor. I mean, maybe. But the way the boards and lines and stuff, and then the curvature at the edge of it, that looks so much more. And the scale of the fingerprint, like the hand smudges, so close to the camera with the edge and the curvature right there, that looks more like a wooden chair with like 4 posts in the back, and then like a center middle piece, wider middle board pushed up to a table, not the hotel and the beams and stuff. But worth looking at, Oleander. Again, that's kind of the point of this playthrough. We're trying to look at everything, compare everything, consider everything as much as we can. Get some nice camera shots along the way. Benches here with the chessboards. Should have put in a little mini game where we play chess with Maria. Yep, some more penguin bullets. 10 cartridges, 9mm Dulce Bellum. For my... What model is it? It's a Blue Betta. The model 92BT. Blue Betta. 9mm handgun. Not a Beretta. The legally distinct Blue Betta. We get some interesting dialogue with Maria here, examining the Jennifer Carroll statue.
この像は
ただの女性よ。何の罪もなく殺されたご立派な人たちにね。よくある話。
どういうことだ。
昔の話よ。
Talking about a woman being killed, being a recurring thing. Obviously, she's hinting at more than just general history here. Little things trying to remind James about killing Mary. Jennifer Carroll, victim of persecution by the Christians. They even, like, this is blocked out when you try to read it, just the same way as it was in the original game. But I like that the inscription, like, if you zoom in on it, you can still make out these blocked out parts of the words. Victim of persecution by the Christians, Jennifer Carroll lived with pride and honor. What happened here shall never be forgotten. Same inscription on the statue as the OG. Again, Jennifer Carroll, one of the early cultists, notable cultists, persecuted by the Christians because of her faith. It's implied that the prisoner, when you get to the prison later on, there's a prison cell that is full of occult books and symbols and imagery. And you hear a voice repeating the word ritual. Very, very heavily implied that that may have been Jennifer Carroll's prison cell where she was kept after being persecuted and eventually executed. And then she is regarded as a saint by the cult going forward. And we see a painting, a wonderful painting by Hiro Usuda in Silent Hill 3 in the Otherworld Church towards the end of the game, depicting Saint Jennifer. Again, very happy that Hiro Usuda herself came by and was enjoying the stream today. She also streams on Twitch, by the way. She does a lot of art and painting. So if one of my mods could do a shout out for Hiro Usuda, I don't know if she's still here, but definitely go follow her. Again, member of original Team Silent, environment artist. Really, really talented. And you can watch her make art live here on Twitch. The nutrition drink stuck in the toilet. Levers broken off. Nothing in that stall. Toilet in this one. Doesn't normally let you go into the men's restroom. Yeah, nothing actually rendered. But still curious just to check. Design on the gate. Was that the grate image that we saw in the clock room? There was like a metal grate on that one picture in the clock room that changed every time you add a clock hand. And the last time we saw it, it was just like a perspective angled metal grate. And looking at this now, I think it may have been that. Or at least kind of similar. Well, on the topic of stalls, was the third stall jump scare in the remake as well? You mean the one in the prison? In which case, yes. They did actually keep that jump scare in. Statues here, a woman and a young girl. Again, supposed to be somewhat symbolic of Mary and Laura. Head missing from the woman. Can't wait to see us get to it in a month, maybe, if you're lucky. Got a lot of game with a lot of details. And I don't want to rush through this. I know it might seem like I'm spending too much time on certain things or looking at certain things for too much without moving on, but what I want to do. Too many things I want to look at. So yeah, we'll eventually get through everything, but this is going to be a very long, very thorough playthrough. And everything that I'm learning about the game along the way, for a lot of people who've been wondering about the story playthrough that was in progress from like 6 weeks ago, from like over a month ago, I've abandoned that playthrough. I'm not good at getting back to playthroughs when there's been that much time since I was last playing it. So it's easier for me to just kind of move on. I'm sorry to everybody who is waiting for that story playthrough to finish up. But after I finish the cam hack playthrough, next thing will be an in-depth story playthrough that includes all of this new stuff that I'm learning and finding from the cam hack. So, to me, that just feels like the better option. Me, heart, she, carved into the bench.
休みたい？
ん？ああ、いや。悪い。ちょっとぼーっとして。
いいのよ。もし何か話したいことがあったら話して。
ない。さあ、先へ進もう。
All these things in the environment that you can examine. Maria's trying to get information out of James. She's trying to get James to talk about stuff because that's going to lead towards him kind of having to confront the truth or consider his delusion more closely. And James is just not engaging. He's still too far into his delusion. He's not opening up about that, especially to the mysterious woman who looks just like his wife. Not at this point. Again, more floral, sort of recurring motif around a lot of symbolism behind Mary, Laura, Mary and James, or possibly Mary and Laura, because Mary mentions in her letter to Laura she loved her like her very own daughter. If things had been differently, she wanted to adopt her. Isn't Maria a force to keep him in the delusion, and Pyramid Head is one trying to get him out? That's the way some people interpret it, but that's not anything that's been like definitively confirmed. And personally, I don't necessarily see it that way. Maria's a manifestation, but like she has her own will. That's a big part of Born from a Wish in the original game. They go out of their way to show that Maria is manifested by the town. She is given the realization that she's a manifestation, like she is confronted with that knowledge directly. She's given, like in Born from a Wish, when you very first start the game, Maria only has a revolver with one single bullet in it. And she points that revolver at her head and then throws it away at the end of Born from a Wish. So the town basically creates her, gives her Mary's feelings and memories, gives her her own will to realize all of this about herself, to remember who James is, to know that he's a bad man in her conversation with Ernest Baldwin. And she chooses to continue to live, to continue to exist, to confront James. Like, I don't think she is like Pyramid Head. The way that Pyramid Head has a specific purpose, he doesn't have as much will of his own. Like, he is a tool being manifested to force James to realize the truth. Maria is a manifestation, but I don't think she is a tool being used in that same way. I think she's got her own will, her own personal view of things, and her own desires because of that. So I think part of her genuinely is curious to know. She is essentially Mary. She's curious to know how James talks about her after her being gone, how he feels about her, and she's trying to get that information from him. She's trying to engage him and learn, how does he really feel about me? Like, he killed me. Did he hate me? Did he do it out of love? Did he do it out of spite? I think she genuinely wants those answers. Just, even though she's not a real person, she still has kind of a will and a drive of her own, her own motivations. So I don't subscribe to the common, I guess common fan theory that she is meant to like make him stay in his delusion. It kind of goes in line with like the Maria ending, but again, to each their own when it comes to those interpretations. That's just kind of how I view it. But again, the remake could be portraying Maria in a completely different way. She does lie to him about the story, the lighthouse, the Lady of the Lake, or whatever the local legend is. So sad this game doesn't have like a built-in photo mode. I'm glad this mod exists for PC at least. There definitely is a lot of this where I really enjoy just kind of all these fun shots and scenarios you can kind of set up. Caught her blinking. Visitor info. Working hours Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Welcome to Neighborhood Cafe. We've seen that same chalkboard. Valorosa says her blinking actually made me realize how good the eyeshadow looks. Yeah. Telling you. The makeup skills. Just the attention to detail on the character models is excellent. There we go. There's Jack's Inn. And I actually misspoke earlier when we were looking at the Toluca thing. I was thinking of the other inn from Silent Hill 1. As opposed to this one, which is in the original 2. It's in Remake. It's in Silent Hill 3. As opposed to the one in Silent Hill 1. It's a reference to the Bates Motel. Norman's Grand Hotel, I think it's called. Grand Motel. All her little poses. James looking up at the sign for the inn. There's a shot. Yeah, she's just bored. She gets very bored walking around with me. I spend too much time looking at stuff. In my first playthrough, she was constantly getting upset because I was breaking everything, all the glass. The Woodside Apartments severely flooded. Same newspapers and things that we've seen. Some other parts of the town. Billboard for the Lakeview Hotel. Toluca. 1.6 miles away. Similar to a billboard that you find in the original Silent Hill 2, although this is the remake design version of the Lakeview. You can see with the like garden and the statues and stuff out front, different little slightly different layout to the OG. We get some dialogue as we start walking this way. This is optional, so it's one of those things that I think is kind of easy to miss for a lot of players. But you can get some dialogue here where Maria continues pressing James for information about Mary. And James opens up a little bit. He talks about Mary playing piano. It's like once you hit the billboard. Okay, so she gets upset about not going towards the motel first. It's this one. There it is.
だったというか、やめた。ごめん。
いいよ。でもどうして？
好奇心。
あまり話したくないんだ。
あら、なんでよ。似てるって言ったでしょ。教えてよ。
そうだな。ピアノが好きだった。君も同じかはわからないが。
そう？ピアノを弾くようには見えない？
もうやめよ
ええ、そうね。
So there's that same information as in the original Silent Hill 2. In Lakeview Hotel, if you examine the piano in the dining area where James meets Laura, she scares him by playing the piano loudly. If you examine it, you get some inner monologue from James where he talks about how Mary used to play piano and he loved to hear her play even though she wasn't particularly good at it. So, incorporating little bits of that information when Maria's pressing James to know more about Mary. Great detail. And I think this dialogue, like I said, is easily missed by a lot of players. Of course, we got the Silent Hill Historical Society Earth Day at Toluca Lake. Story of yesterday on Nathan Avenue. Hey, Blair Witch. Just joined the stream, so maybe you said already. Are you going to use the free cam and see if you can see the mannequin spawn on the road after you walk to the end of the street? Eventually, yeah. Once we get out that far, use the cam hack to try and see. I'm fairly certain that there's no animation. They just spawn in those dead mannequin models. They don't fly over the railing like the original game. It's just supposed to be like a little nod, a little reference to that in the OG, but we'll check it to be sure once we get there. Pet Center, Vaccine Clinic, Ease Italian Restaurant, all the billboards. A lot of these recreated billboards that were in the original game. Neighborhood Cafe, rich fragrance, espresso fascinates you. Come to the cafe and taste the heaven. Trespassing. The old bus. Is the one with the Russian? Yep. So we saw this at the very beginning. When you're walking into town, there's like a junkyard with a bunch of cars and buses. And by the way, thanks to people who answered in like YouTube comments, I didn't know it when we went past that junkyard in part 1. But this apparently translates to 4 used tickets. So basically, as you have your ticket and you step on the bus, when you get rid of your ticket stub, you have a little thing on the bus to discard it. Why it's in Russian, I don't know. Maybe just an existing model or something that they used. Maybe somebody on the team wanted to do that, but yeah. Even though Bloober is a primarily Polish studio, they definitely have people from all over the world part of the studio. Several of the artists and people just in all branches of the team. All right, Maria. We'll go to the inn. Because there's a lot of stuff to see here.
泊まったことは壁が薄くて何でも聞こえる。愛や憎しみ、嫉妬。
Little bits of commentary from Maria. Ever stay in a place like this? Thin walls, love, hate, jealousy. Get to see this car model, very similar to, we've seen another one, but very similar to James's car in the original Silent Hill 2. They changed it up a bit for the remake. Original was based on a late 70s Pontiac Ventura, and that's what this car model is a lot more similar to, that very front, pointed angular front end bumper. Little like winged, sort of flared ends on the back end around the trunk. All right. There is a ton of stuff, a lot of details, some specific Easter eggs that are in Jack's Inn, and just a whole nother section of the town that we've got to go explore. But we're going to save that for tomorrow night. For now, we're going to save.
James, 大丈夫?
I love that you get Maria's commentary when you go to save. Maria still comments on it. She's like, "Are you all right?" After you save, and then leave this menu.
ねえ、どうしたの? 立ち尽くしてたけど。
平気だ。
That's great. Looked like he froze for a second. Like, the fact that she's seeing him sort of space out and react to the red squares, but she doesn't seem to perceive the square itself. She doesn't know what James is doing. Like, to her perspective, he's just like stopping and staring in space. I love that she's like aware of this happening and actually mentions it to him. Really cool stuff. But all right, that's it for me tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another successful part of this cam hack playthrough. Really neat stuff tonight. The poster, the all the information on that one flyer at Rosewater Park talking about Toluca Lake and the house and the history, and that was really, really cool. I hope we come across more things like that, little bits of town history and lore kind of hidden in textures that you can't normally examine. Love that kind of stuff. So many little references and things that they can squeeze in with those types of assets. And then we've got tomorrow night. Jack's Inn and a whole nother chunk of the town to start looking at. The bowling alley, the end of the road, the mannequins that show up in the road. There's going to be some cool stuff that we'll be taking a look at tomorrow night. Again, thanks to everybody for supporting me. All the subs, gift subs, resubs. Again, also just a huge thanks to Hiro Usuda, environment artist from Team Silent, who joined us earlier and was watching the stream and hanging out in chat. That was a really cool surprise. Very honored to have somebody from the original art team, especially the environmental artist, while we are gushing over the environments of this remake. Was really happy for her to be here, so that was cool. So thanks everybody, really appreciate you all. Take it easy. I'll see you all tomorrow night. Be good to each other. Peace.